When you want to stop your dog from barking excessively, you may be considering getting a bark control collar. It may seem like an easy, quick fix. However, these collars are not always effective and may not be the best solution for your dog's behavior. Instead, try these other methods. Boredom barking. Dogs often bark out of boredom when they are not stimulated enough. The sound is consistent and repetitive and can go on for hours if left untreated. This behavior is common among dogs that spend the day outside with little interaction with their owners. A way to keep your dog occupied is to take him out for walks or take him to doggy daycare. These activities will not only help reduce your dog's barking, but will also help you keep your dog healthy. You can also try engaging in activities that involve you. If your dog has a tendency to bark for attention, try playing with it. You can give him a stuffed Kong or food puzzle. This will occupy his mind and prevent it from barking. How can I stop excessive barking? If you want to learn how to stop excessive dog barking, you must first understand why your pet barks. If you are not able to figure out the cause of your dog's excessive barking, it will be impossible to stop it. While it is possible to train most dogs to stop barking, some breeds are more prone than others to excessive barking. This technique will help you train your dog to sit when you say silent. This will help you control your dog's barking. However, this method may only be effective after 10 or 20 sessions. It is recommended to seek advice from a professional when using this technique. In some cases, excessive dog barking is the result of underlying behavioral problems. In these cases, you need to determine the cause and correct it. While some dogs may bark excessively because they are scared, others simply bark to attract attention. Why do dogs bark excessively? Barking is a common way for dogs to communicate with one another. It may be a warning signal to alert others of danger or play. It can also be an expression of annoyance or need for attention. Dogs may bark excessively when they do not get enough exercise. If you're worried about your dog barking excessively, there are a few ways to stop it. First, make sure to get to the bottom of the issue. Some dogs bark excessively to guard their territory. This behavior is annoying for visitors and an alarm for unknown people. It is essential to treat excessive barking as an early warning sign of possible danger. The first step is to get your dog examined by a veterinarian. The vet can rule out any underlying medical problems that may be causing excessive barking and help you create an action plan to combat the problem. Older dogs, for example, may have a brain disease causing them to bark excessively. To prevent dog barking, first identify the type of barking. Some dogs are territorial, and their barking will be directed to objects or people outside their homes. This type of barking is annoying to people, but it's part of a dog's nature. Acclimate your dog to sights and sounds. When you bring your dog home, you should acclimate him to sights and sounds around your home to reduce the likelihood of excessive barking. Dogs may bark excessively in response to people or other dogs in their territory. This barking behavior will last until the perceived threat has passed. Teach your dog the quiet cue. The quiet cue is a great way to stop dog barking. To use it, start by training your dog to bark only after being rewarded. For instance, you can teach your dog to bark when you knock on a wall or open the door. As the dog becomes more accustomed to the quiet command, you can gradually increase the reward to more than one treat per quiet period. The more you repeat it, the better your dog will learn it. Doorbells are tricky to train and may require a few more repetitions. Patience is the key. When your dog is barking, you can use a verbal cue such as speak or a hand signal such as quiet to encourage the quiet behavior. You can also reward your dog for remaining quiet with treats or praise. Play and excitement barking. One way to curb your dog's barking behavior is to play and excite him. Whether you're playing fetch or playing with other dogs, the idea is to get your dog excited about something. For example, feeding him a treat while you swim will give him the opportunity to engage in rowdy water play. Or you could feed him a treat while watching the Super Bowl with your friends. When you're done playing with your dog, put him in a different room in your house. However, it is crucial to intervene before your dog gets overly excited. For this, use tricks such as staging an exciting event with your friends and family. Once the dog gets overly excited, distract it by offering it a different game. If this doesn't work, give it some time to calm down. Another way to stop your dog from barking is to provide plenty of exercise opportunities. You can also use toys to distract your dog from the activity by giving it something to chew. This can help prevent your dog from barking when the doorbell rings. Alternatively, you can hire a professional dog trainer to help you. What causes excessive barking? If your dog has a problem with excessive barking, you should take them to the veterinarian. they can rule out underlying health problems and create a treatment plan to address the problem. Your veterinarian will also be able to give you tips on how to prevent the problem from occurring again. A variety of causes can cause a dog's excessive barking. Excessive dog barking may be a symptom of separation anxiety, which is a common problem in many dogs. Excessive barking is often accompanied by other signs of separation anxiety. If you're not sure if your dog has separation anxiety, visit the ASPCA for detailed information on the condition. Many dog owners use anti-bark collars to control their dog's barking behavior. However, this method is not recommended for barking that is not triggered by fear or anxiety. One way to address excessive barking is to provide your dog with mental enrichment and physical activity. Try to spend time with your dog before you leave for the day. Make sure to leave him with a toy that is both physically and mentally stimulating, such as a stuffed Kong. Demand barking. The most effective way to stop dog barking is to prevent it from becoming a problem in the first place. This is achieved by not responding to a dog's barks for as long as possible. Instead, you should ignore the dog until it stops barking and then rewards her for being quiet. Every time your dog starts to bark for attention, this process should be repeated. When you use this method, be sure to alert your neighbors of the situation, so they can avoid getting upset if your dog starts to bark for no apparent reason. When demand barking is warranted. The first step in preventing your dog from barking on demand is to stop giving him attention. A dog will only bark when he feels he's getting attention, whether that attention is good or bad. Instead of rewarding the barking, try looking up at the ceiling or crossing your arms. If you're unable to ignore the barking, move out of the room. Demand barking can be an extreme situation. You must have nerves of steel and patience to deal with the persistent barking. You might want to consider getting noise-canceling headphones or earplugs to help block out the noise. If this doesn't work, you'll need to try retraining your dog. If he continues to bark in spite of your efforts, he might become aggressive or misbehave. Demand barking can also be avoided by engaging in play. You can give your dog a stuffed Kong or a food puzzle during playtime to distract him. How to teach your dog not to demand barking. There are a couple of ways to control demand barking in a dog. You can either ignore the dog or reward him for quiet behavior. The easiest way to suppress demand barking is to ignore it early. The longer you ignore it, the more persistent it will become. If you are unable to ignore the behavior, try to ignore it later. The key to ignoring the barking is to turn away and avoid the situation until the dog stops. Doing this can divert your dog's attention to something else, such as a chew toy. Repeat this process whenever the dog starts to demand your attention. If you live in an apartment or a house with neighbors, you'll need to be careful about how loud you can be while you're training. Next, use a verbal or visual marker to mark quiet behavior. You can use the word yes or a treat. Repeat this exercise in different environments until your dog gets used to it. Once the dog is quiet, reward him with a treat. Barking due to separation anxiety. Managing separation anxiety in your dog can be a real challenge. Not only is it difficult for you to leave your dog alone for extended periods, it can also be frustrating for him. Luckily, you can do a few things to reduce your dog's barking. Visit the vet. A veterinarian can help you to stop your dog's barking. The behavior may be related to anxiety or fear. While dogs tend to bark to get attention, they may also bark because they are bored or anxious. In this case, the vet can give them training techniques to help them learn to associate the situation with a positive experience. Dogs may also bark excessively in response to people and other animals entering their territory. It may also be related to certain places that are associated with their owners. To determine the exact cause of the barking, the veterinarian will need to know the context and underlying medical condition. The veterinarian can help you choose the right treatment. In some cases, a vet can also give your dog supplements and medications that can prevent the behavior from recurring. However, these methods can have harmful side effects. The best way to treat your dog's barking problem is to provide positive reinforcement and alter the environment. Behavior modification. Using behavior modification is a great way to solve your dog's barking problem. This type of training works by introducing mentally stimulating activities into your dog's environment. These can include interactive toys and food dispensers. You can also hire a pet sitter or hire a dog walking service to keep your dog busy. To start with, take your dog for a walk. While on a leash, use a positive interrupt whenever he sniffs a bush or eyes the garbage in the gutter. Start off with minor distractions and gradually build up to bigger distractions. When your dog starts to bark, use the interrupt to interrupt the behavior. You can also use a different reward method to reward your dog for not barking. For example, you can give a treat to your dog when he does not bark. The longer the treat stays in his mouth, the more it will associate it with the behavior. As you progress with the training, you can gradually increase the duration of the treat and reward. Fearful and reactive barking. The fearful and reactive barking of dogs is an uncontrollable behavior. It can be difficult to calm these dogs down, and they are less likely to follow commands and accept food rewards. In addition, they may become easily startled when they see a strange person or dog. Regardless of the cause, you can use techniques to prevent these unwanted behaviors. Dogs' fearful and reactive barking is often categorized as aggressive behavior, but this label is inaccurate. Many dogs' barking is a symptom of stress and is often a result of a lack of socialization as a puppy. Sometimes, reactive barking is simply a sign of frustration or irritation. Territorialism. Territorialism can be a very difficult behavior to train. It is associated with fear and anxiety, so it is important to prevent your dog from displaying territorial behavior. It is important to keep your dog on a leash and to control its movements around the house. It is also a good idea to limit your dog's opportunities to defend its territory by restricting its sight. For instance, you can cover your front door with a plastic film or put opaque fencing around your property. Early socialization is essential in minimizing territorial behavior. Teach young dogs to sit when strangers come over. Extensive socialization will minimize a dog's fear of visitors and allow it to adjust to new people and situations. However, even if a dog is socialized at an early age, territorial behavior can still occur. Fear. Dogs will bark in response to fear. This barking is often high-pitched, continuous, and may end in a howl. This behavior is a way for your dog to communicate with you. Talking to your pet can calm it down and help it develop a new fear management technique. Greeting or bid for attention. A dog's barking can be due to several reasons, including territorial behavior and fear or alarm. It may also be a response to something new and exciting, such as an unfamiliar person or sound. If the barking is ignored, the dog will become more anxious and fearful. When this anxiety is not dealt with, it can escalate to aggression or yelling. How do you stop nuisance barking? In some cases, excessive barking is caused by underlying medical problems. Dogs with brain disease or bee stings may start barking excessively. Moreover, older dogs may develop canine senility. Consult a veterinarian or a professional trainer if you're looking for ways to reduce your dog's barking. Getting a proper diagnosis can ensure your dog's health and happiness and can make your home more peaceful.